Hello again, this is Dr. Daichi doing another tutorial to help you gain skills using the graph editor on MyEconLab. I'm now using another question from the first homework. That is going to be question 22 on your homework, which is asking that you draw a relationship that illustrates this fact. You want to draw a point that shows that if you study for 0 hours a day, so if x is 0, your grade point average will be 2. You're going to use the point tool, which you're going to drag and try to plot exactly where y is 2 and x is 0. And you do want, in the second part, to draw a curve that shows that the more hours a day you study, the higher is your grade point average, your GPA, but each extra hour brings a smaller and smaller increase in your grade. You will label the curve GPA. Before you draw the curve, you do want to recall that GPA cannot be higher than 4, so this would be an imaginary line that you do not want to cross. And another relationship that you should be careful when you draw your curve is the one that states that your GPA curve should be having a positive slope. It should increase as the number of study hours increases. However, it does increase fast at first, or the slope is high at first, and then the more hours you study, you have a smaller and smaller increase in the GPA. So that means later the slope will get flatter. So if you understand that, you should be able to grab the 3-point curved line tool. You click on the box, you drag the cursor, and you drop it right at point 02. That's going to be your first of the 3 points. You try to go up by having a curve, I should say by having a straight line up to this point that is steep or relatively steep. So let's say this is where I want the second point to end. So I'm going to drop my cursor, and that's going to be the middle point of the 3 points. Now I'm dragging my cursor, and I'm trying to show a curve that is going to approach the 4 horizontal line that is a parallel or imaginary line right now, but it's not going to intersect it. As you can tell, MyEconLab is not going to let you sometimes do changes that are specific to where you want the point to be. So for example, right now I'm forced in between these 2 points and it's not letting me do anything else. I know this is not optimal. This is going to intersect the 4 line. If I keep going, the curve is no longer going to be flat. So at this point, this is my best graph at the moment, and it might not be the best shape. So if you are not happy or satisfied with this shape, I would recommend you use a reset button. So you start all over again by resetting. That means you go and grab the point tool, you place it at point 2, and then when you're ready to draw the curve, maybe what you should do differently now is don't try such a steep vertical, almost vertical line, but try something that's a little bit less steep. So something like, probably something like this. And so you're gonna want to drop your second point there, right here. And then when you continue to show your curve as being less steep, you do want to stretch it maybe up to this point. You will find sometimes MyEconLab doesn't exactly let you do what you want to do with curves. So you're going to try your best. And I would say because my target was to get closer to the 4 horizontal line, I'm just going to drop it right here. And again, it's not an ideal shape, but it's the best I can do. You're going to click on the box with the question marks. You're going to label it GPA. And you're going to check your answer. It does say that it's fantastic. What you wanted to make sure is that The curve is actually steeper in this section, and then it gets flatter as we increase the study time. So that was the main purpose. What kind of relationship is this? It's definitely not linear because it was a curve, but it's direct because it's a positive relationship. So it will give you some feedback here as to what you needed to be careful about, which is one of the best features in MyEconLab, is the feedback that you get, especially if you don't get the question right in your first attempt. You get some feedback here, which helps you get to the right answer. Remember the other features. You would need to check the e-text pages. So remember, those features are on the left-hand side. You check right here on the e-text pages. That sends you immediately to the textbook pages that talk about this topic. And then if you're still uncertain and confused, you would email me, the instructor, by checking on this link here. And you would send me an email with your specific question and how I can help you address those questions.